Balance is made of extremes. In a minute, I'm gonna tell you what this means. And I'm also gonna tell you how this new way of looking at balance will change your social life forever. But before I do so, you need to understand the three main approaches for looking at life and productivity. The first approach is hustling. And we all know what this means. It simply means you try to work more and rest less. From now on, I'm gonna graphically draw work in black and rest in green to make it more visually appealing for you. So with hustling, you try to work more and to rest less. And this works for short periods of time. Because what usually happens long term, and you all know this, please stick with me for a second, I know this is boring, but I'm gonna get to the interesting stuff later. So what happens long term is you try to work more, but since you're resting so little, you start actually decreasing the amount of time you can actually work. You lose motivation, you lose energies, your mood just gets worse, and so you get burnout and you can't work as you'd like to work. So this is a good approach only for short periods of time. Then there's the worst approach ever. And I don't want to make fun of you, but you are probably in this stage right now. I'm telling this because I was too, and I see most people around me in this stage as well. I call this fake balance. People think it is real balance, but this is not real balance, this is fake balance. And what this means is simply, you're never fully focused and you're never fully relaxed. So graphically, this looks like this. In the fake balance approach, you try to focus for periods of time that are so small that you actually never enter a flow state, a state of deep focus where you're actually immersed in what you're doing. So you try to focus for brief periods of time and then you immediately rest. And the rest you do is hyper stimulating, which means it doesn't rest you. This approach is the worst ever because at least when you're hustling, in short periods of time, you actually achieve more. In this case, you both don't achieve because the times you actually try to focus are so small, you actually don't achieve what you wanted to achieve. And also you don't rest enough because you do activities that don't fully rest you. And I'm gonna tell you what this means in a second. So what are the signs, the symptoms that you are in a fake balance approach? First one is you stare at your laptop for hours without actually achieving what you wanted to achieve. Now be honest with me for a second. How many times does it happen to you that you say you will be doing something, but then you get in front of your laptop and you start doing random stuff that isn't actually the task you had for that deep work session? How many times does it happen to you that you say you have worked for 4 hours, 3 hours, or you have studied for 4 hours, 3 hours, but you actually didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve? Let me tell you, work means starting with a clear idea in mind of what you need to do. Literally writing it down before you start working, then working in a focused state and achieving what you wanted to achieve. If you don't achieve what you want to achieve in the time you work, you're not working. Unless you are just deciding unrealistic goals for yourself. But if your goals are realistic, and you don't achieve them while working, there's something wrong. You might be in a fake balance approach. Another symptom is you use the Pomodoro technique all the time. You work for 25 minutes, then you just stop and you go rest. And what rest usually means when you're in a fake balance approach is scrolling or just any other stimulating activity. Now, what's the problem with scrolling? If your breaks involve activities that are more stimulating than the work you do, how do you think you will be able to actually keep doing the work in a focused way? Let's say you are studying, and we all know that studying sometimes can be boring. So what do you think scrolling in your breaks is doing to your focus, to your motivation? Like you are doing something that is boring and you're doing something that is hyper stimulating. Do you think after that break you will be motivated and focused to actually start studying again? Absolutely no. And you know this. So these were the two signs that you're using a fake balance approach. Now let's actually see what real balance means and how to actually achieve it in your life. And if you don't know me, I'm Danny Nova. I study psychobiology and I coach people on how to enter a flow state like this. Now, let's get to the juicy stuff. What is real balance? As I told you, real balance is made of extremes. Extreme focus and extreme rest. So this looks like this. You have some hours of extreme focus where you're trying to enter a flow state. And I talk all the time in this channel about flow state. You have other videos on that as well. And if you want help with that, you can just DM me on X the word flow and I'll send you more details, because I also coach people on how to enter a flow state like this. So real balance is made of extreme focus and extreme rest. You do a couple of hours of flow state and then you make it follow by an activity that is real rest. And what confuses people right here is that I usually don't define rest as you might define it. Rest is not Netflix, it's not scrolling, it's not stuff that hyper-stimulates you but doesn't let your mind wander. This is how I define rest. Rest is either sleep, and this is non-negotiable. I might make a video in the future on why sleep is so important if you value focus and if you value flow state, but just let me tell you, sleep is non-negotiable. And the other kind of rest is active rest. Active rest means stuff you usually don't consider as rest. It might be even working out, walking, or stuff like gardening, drawing. These activities do require mental energies from you, but at the same time, they also let your mind wander freely. And this helps so much, because when you enter flow state, you actually don't think about yourself. You don't think about your life. You don't think about anything that is not related to the task. This is the beauty of flow state. You forget about the rest of the world, but at the same time, you can't live like that permanently. You need times for letting your mind wander. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't watch Netflix. I'm not saying you shouldn't scroll. I do both. When I have time to do them, I might do them, but they are not a priority. They are not necessary for me to operate. They are just bonuses I can add in my life. But life is made of these extreme focus and extreme rest. Now, if you haven't lived like that, I know this will sound boring or extreme and not balanced. But I swear, this is only because you haven't tried this way of living. When you live like that, what happens is, when you are in flow, you don't think about problems yourself. You're just so immersed into what you're doing that problems literally disappear. This is the best state to be in. And then in times of extreme rest, your mind has actually time to gather ideas. If you try this way of living for more than a week, trust me, you will never want to come back. Because this is the most natural way to operate as a human being. Before technology existed, people lived like that. And they were happier, trust me, because I've lived this too. I went from a fake balance approach to a real balance approach, and this was the best decision I've ever made. And now I've made it my mission to help people go from a fake balance approach to a real balance approach. And if you appreciate this mission of mine, just subscribe to the channel, because it helps a ton. Thank you. Now, in case you're not sure about whether you're living in a fake or real balance approach, I have 2 questions that might help you with this. The first one is, when was the last time you were so focused on something, literally anything you like, that you forgot to even eat? You forgot about all the rest, because as I told you, this is one good sign to see if you are in a flow state. If you forget about yourself, the world, worries, anything, and you just are so immersed, you just have the task in front of you. You're just in the present moment. Neither past or future disturb you. Or if the answer is not recently, you might be in a fake balance approach. The second question is, when was the last time you did something like slow living, which is active rest? These kind of activities, reading, gardening, walking, drawing, social time that was present, social time where you actually were there with your friends, with the people you cared about. The second question is, when was the last time you did slow living activities like eating, gardening, being in nature, being with your friends, I don't know, but doing this while being 100% present in that moment? When was the last time? Because if the answer is not recently, as well as this one, you might be in a fake balance approach. Now, if you are in a fake balance approach, don't worry, most people are. You have to stop doing these, like I told you, short bursts of work, which is not actually focused, and short bursts of rest, which is not real rest. It takes time, it takes weeks, it takes months. And if you want help with that, as I told you, you can just DM me the word flow on X and I'll send you more details on what I do to actually help people achieve that. Now, I'm also going to tell you how this real balance approach will improve your social life by a lot. People feel it when you are not 100% there while you're talking to them. Present people attract present people because people crave authentic interest from other people. So if you're talking to someone and you're only 50% present in the conversation, you're not genuinely interested in the other person, meaning you are listening, but at the same time, you have your own internal monologue going on. The other person, even though they started with 100% presence, 100% interest to you, they will go to 50% as well, because people will give you back what you give to them. If you don't like your social life at the moment, just ask yourself this. Are you present while talking to other people? Because people can smell when you're not present. People just feel it and they hate it. You hate it as well. You hate it when another person is not fully there with you. But ask yourself, be honest, are you present while you're talking to them in the first place? You can't ask for what you're not already giving to other people. When you are 100% present and you enter social interactions, people can feel it and they start giving you back what you give to them. Not all of them, because some of them will be 50% present even though you are 100% present, just like we have seen here. But then at that point, you can just cut that relationship. Why am I putting all of this in a balance video? Because just like real balance is about extremes, hyper focus or hyper rest, you can see your social life in the same way. Just like you do extreme focus and then extreme rest, you might do extreme solitude and then extreme social moments. Moments when you are hyper solitary and moments when you're hyper social. Because what happens is, if you're not in the mood to be 100% present, then what's the point of entering a social interaction where you know you won't be fully present? Because people can smell that and people want to react positively. They will remove attention and presence and interest from you as well. So why not just focusing on yourself for a moment if you know you won't be completely present, and then wait for a time when you actually will be present. And this is not about being introvert or extrovert. This goes beyond that. You can choose how much time you want to stay by yourself and how much time you want to pass around people. But what I'm telling you is, if you know you won't be 100% present, just take advantage of it and work on yourself. And then wait for a time when you're actually in the mood to be 100% present. This does not mean you should isolate yourself. You should create the moments in your life when it makes more sense to interact with people. Because what's the point in being around people if you know you won't actually be fulfilled from that, and that other people won't be fulfilled by that interaction as well. Okay guys, this was the last idea from this video. I really hope all of this was useful to you, and in case you want more from me, you can check out my X or my newsletter. Both the links are down below. And as usual guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you.